Good evening, all. Chick here with day 12 of the 77-day video challenge. And tonight we're going to try to pick up on the timeline where we left off on day 11. If you recall, when we left off, it was around 1980. My son had been born. I got out of the bar business and went to work with the International Association of Stage and Theatrical Employees, and began working my way up the ladder in the local. Now, when you first started working in the local, it was kind of tough. I was low down on the seniority list, and it would sometimes take a while for me to get a job. And I wasn't making as much money as I'd like to, but I was certainly making more money than I was making in the bar. And then when my son was about a year old, Jackie actually went back to work. And instead of going back to work in the printing business, she went back to work in the publishing business. And we were both new at our jobs and doing okay, not as well as we thought, but we were paying more attention to our lives, and we were cleaning up our act a little bit for a little while. As we were living with my mother-in-law, and so we had a built-in babysitter. So on the weekends we would still party, and occasionally after work I would go out with the guys and have a few drinks. But it wasn't quite like before at first. But remember, I was still living the life of a victim. And I'm going to recall something for you tonight. After my daughter was born, she was born in 1985. Things were going better, but they still weren't quite what I'd like them to be. And I went to work one day, and when I got there, I found out that they had changed things, and I wasn't going to be able to work. So of course, poor me, poor victim me, poor me, pour me another drink. I went to the bar I used to work at, and I sat there and I drank all day. I then decided that at 4 o'clock I should get in my car and go pick up my child from daycare. Now my baby was only 2 years old. My daughter Chelsea was only probably about 2 years old at that point. And thankfully, on the way home, I got in an accident. Now, the first accident I got in, the lady felt bad for me and let me go, didn't call the police. So then I'm zipping down, I'm on my way to pick my child up from the daycare, and I get in a second wreck. And this time, there was no getting away. It was a worse wreck, thank God. And the police came and they took me to jail. The daycare wound up having to call my wife, who had to leave work to go pick up our daughter. And I was furious. How dare the police take me to jail? Again, a life unexamined. I now realize that was the best thing that could have possibly happened to me, was that I didn't go try to pick my daughter up inebriated. Now, I didn't realize that right away. My first reaction was to get a good attorney, and that attorney actually, through some machinations, got me off of that DUI. And I thought that was the greatest thing that could ever happen. But again, my life just continued down that downward spiral because I wasn't paying attention to what was going on in my life. Once again, after my daughter was born, after this happened, for a while we straightened our act up again, but it didn't last. And tomorrow night I'm going to go ahead and continue and go through the end of this part of our story and continue with when I did start paying attention. Hope you guys having a great night. See you again tomorrow night for day 13, one day at a time.